welcome to my kitchen. Today we are making something exciting. So let me show you what I just got from the garden. I've already picked through it, but I pulled up my tot soy. It had gotten like totally bug eaten on the outside, but I treated it with some BT and it had lots of new growth in the middle. And it's just like starting to bolt. So I just decided to pull up the whole thing. Sorry, our laundry room is very noisy. I decided to pull up the whole thing and we're gonna have it for dinner. So I have already rinsed it off and cut it up. So here is the tot soy. I'm very excited about it. It's supposed to be like a mild bok choy spinach kind of flavor. So I decided I was gonna I've got some tofu here and I am going to make a stir fry. Sort of like like a stir fry with tofu, and then we're gonna put it over some rice. So come along and let's get cooking. So right off the bat, I just want to point out that, like the title of this video says, you can use anything that you have lying around in your fridge. You can use any kind of protein. I'm using tofu. You could use chickpeas, or you could use chicken or steak. Really, whatever you like, you can put in this stir fry. So first things first, I'm gonna cube this tofu into little pieces, and I'm gonna put it all in my bowl here. And then what I like to do is just add a little bit of cornstarch and mix it all around so it's nice and evenly coated. This is gonna give your protein a nice crunch. I don't know if I would use it on chickpeas because it wouldn't really stick on there very well, but you could add cornstarch to any other kind of protein and it gives it a really nice texture when you cook it in the pan. So then I'm gonna cut up my tot soy. You could also substitute this with spinach or any kind of leafy green. You could leave it out. Again, this is just what I harvested from my garden. And then I use garlic. I had some leftover shredded carrots. I really just dug around in my fridge for whatever was left over. This was broccoli from last week. It was still good, but there was only a few pieces, so it wasn't enough for a full meal. And then some snap peas that my kids like to snack on. Here I'm just cutting off the ends of it. You don't have to do that, but I just prefer it that way. And then I'm just gonna cut them into little bite-sized pieces here. And the broccoli as well. If you use broccoli, I would suggest cutting it into smaller pieces so that it cooks a little more evenly with the other vegetables. Otherwise, you could just go ahead and steam it ahead of time. So I'm gonna get my rice started. I like to cook my rice in the Instant Pot. And for my family of 5, I have a toddler, so kind of like a family of 4, like 4 servings. I like to make 2 cups of rice. We usually have just a little bit left over. It's the perfect amount. And then I use about 2.5 cups of water, like 2.5 to 3 cups of water. And then I like to add some bouillon cube, or you could just use vegetable broth. I like to use this bouillon because I can just add it to things as I like. So this is a chicken bouillon and it just gives the rice a really good flavor. And then you just want to whisk that up really good ahead of time so it gets incorporated into the rice nicely. And then I just give that a mix, make sure all the rice is submerged. And then I just use the rice setting on my Instant Pot. And it comes out perfectly. Alright, over to the stove here, I'm gonna just add a little bit of avocado oil that I like to use into my pan and make sure it gets nice and hot before I add anything else. Now I am adding the tofu into my hot oil in the pan. I'm gonna add some salt and pepper to give it just a little bit of flavor. As you know, tofu's, it just kind of takes on the flavors of what you're cooking it with, but it has great texture. I actually like the flavor of tofu a lot. And yeah, so I'm just mixing the salt and pepper in there, and then I'm gonna, with tofu, the best way to cook it is to just let it sit in a nice even layer in the hot pan, and you wanna just give it some time to get some color. If you just constantly mix it, then that cornstarch is, you know, it's not gonna get crispy. So you let it sit, and then you give it a mix like you just saw, and then I'm gonna layer it out again and let it sit again. All right, one more shake, and I think at last the tofu is done. You really just wanna give it time to get a nice golden color on it. So I'm gonna put that over in my bowl. I've lined it with paper towels, and I'm gonna add a little bit more avocado oil to my pan. And then I'm gonna start cooking my vegetables. Oh, I'm also adding sesame oil, which I love in a stir fry. It gives it such a good flavor. Not necessary, but if you do have it on hand, I would highly recommend it. So first I'm adding my carrots. And I actually probably would have waited to add the oil in the beginning because carrots take a really long time to cook, especially these that come pre-shredded. So you'll see in just a minute. Here I'm thinking about it. I'm gonna add some water to the pan. Oh, there's Toby. Hi Toby, he's looking for scraps on the floor. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of water to the pan and put a lid on the top, and that's gonna let the carrots steam. So any kind of hard vegetable, you wanna cook them in order. There they go. You wanna cook your vegetables that take the longest first, and then the vegetables that take the shortest last. So those carrots take a while, so I added a little bit of water, and then now I'm gonna add some garlic. Who doesn't love garlic? You know, I really love the flavor of a fresh garlic pressed into the pan, but I've discovered this stuff in the jar and it just makes life so much easier. And I always have I have garlic on hand. Maybe not fresh garlic, but it's good. So now I'm adding the broccoli florets, giving that a good mix. Doesn't that look good already? So I just want to emphasize to you again that you do not have to use the vegetables that I'm using. Oh, I'm going to add a little water to the broccoli too because I like it cooked a little bit more. I don't like it too crunchy. So I'm going to steam those. But I just want to emphasize that you do not have to use what I'm using. You can use any old vegetables that you can find in your fridge. Like a lot of vegetables go really good in a stir fry. So when the broccoli and carrots were done, you could see that I added the snow peas and the tatsoi. And now I'm just going to give them some seasoning. So some salt and pepper. And then I'm also going to add some ground ginger. I would love to use fresh ginger, but I did not have any on hand. And some onion powder, which is stuck. I need to get some more onion powder. Again, you know what your tastes are. Use what you like. Use what tastes good to you. Whatever seasonings you prefer. You could add some red pepper flakes or some of that Trader Joe's umami seasoning. My husband loves that stuff. So here I am just mixing it all around nice and good. And now that my tatsoi is all wilted down, everything's smelling good, I'm gonna push all of that over to the side, and I'm gonna add back in my cooked tofu, which is totally sticking to the paper towel, but that's okay. We've got this. There we go. Oh my. I don't know about you, but if I can make an entire meal without dropping, spilling something, or cutting myself somehow, then that's a win. So I'm going to add some teriyaki sauce. This is what I had in my fridge left over. Typically I would add some soy sauce, but I was out of it. So you can add any kind of sauces if you have soy sauce or hoisin, or you can make up a sauce. I like to make my own teriyaki sauce a lot of the times with some brown sugar and soy sauce and cornstarch, and it thickens up really nice in the pan. But this is, again, just what I had on hand. So I am adding that in and mixing it all up and spilling it on the stove and throwing it back in the pan. Oh yeah, you can tell it's looking good, it's smelling good, it's tasting good. Alright, my rice is done, and you guys don't even have to tell me. I can see how terrible and dirty the rim of my Instant Pot is. And don't worry, as soon as I'm done editing this video, I'm going to go clean it. So there's my beautiful rice. It was very good. It's just perfect, the perfect moistness that I like. And here is my husband plating up the beautiful plate for you all to see. So some rice, and then we're gonna add our stir fry. Guys, the possibilities are endless here. I hope that you make this. I hope that you try it and enjoy it and love it. It's really just a few basic steps, and then you can input whatever you like in the recipe. Here he is topping it with some furikake seasoning. It's really just like seaweed and sesame seeds. It's delicious. And some red pepper flakes, because we don't put that in the stir fry because of the kids. So there you have it. This was a wonderful dinner. We all loved it. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.